it wasn't in Oklahoma.
I'm sorry,
in
in Iowa.
Illinois. We came from Oklahoma.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, what made you want to come out here?
We figured it was old.
Yeah,
You know? I mean,
me and a buddy over here, we stopped by here last year, talked to one of the board members of the Historical Society, and he told us about some old sites, and this is kind of what we do. So.
And you've gotten a couple of pretty big finds here already. Now,
Yeah.
This is a historical park. It dates all the way back to Cameron's founding. Tell me what you have found so far today, and how long have you been out here for? Just a couple hours, or?
not even probably that long. About an hour, maybe.
Wow. And yeah, you were talking about you showing me a 1905 nickel. Is that right?
Yeah, 1905 V nickel. Yeah, and I'm sure without a doubt, there's probably more in here. I mean, it's just about slowing down and making sure you hear the deep stuff. A lot of times people come, they don't keep their coil on the ground all the way. They swing too fast. They're not able to pick up those deep signals. And so that's basically what we were doing, is just slowing down and trying to get the deep signals.
And one of the things you picked up was a quarter from 1875. And a lot of people were doubting you, but is that kind of metal detecting right there? Was it just trusting yourself and saying that that there's something in there? I mean, what was happening there?
Sometimes you just have to go with your gut. Sometimes you got to be able to read the hole.
Right. There's a lot of nails in here too, and so with the nails, sometimes they'll be laying next to the coin, and it throws the signal off. And so, like you said, sometimes you just got to go with your gut. I've had times where I've probably flipped open the plug. That's what we call it when we cut the little circle. Flip open the plug and can't find anything, and stick it back in the hole and swing over again. And then I still hear it, and just keep looking. Eventually, something will pop out. Well, not always, but sometimes.
And how long have you guys been doing this?
I've been doing it for about 6 years now.
Wow.
Not near as long as that. Just maybe a year and a half.
And how'd you get into it? Did you just see something online, or what happened?
Well, I've always liked treasure. I mean, treasure movies have always been my favorite. And I was, believe it or not, the town I live in Oklahoma, I had a friend that lived in a house that was, well, he's a friend now. He wasn't a friend then. He lived in a house that was built in 1915, and he paid me to come and raise up the floor because it was starting to cave in. And he had 2 metal detectors sitting on the porch. And I asked him about it, and he said, "Would you like to go?" I said, "Sure." And we went to a house down the road, and I found 2 silver dimes in the first yard that I did. And so 2 mercury dimes, 41 and 43, I think was the year. And after that, I was sold.
Wow. And what about you? I mean,
Well, my reasoning isn't as romantic as that. I just like things that are worth money. So, and silver's worth money.
It is worth money. That's
in your time doing this, what are some of the things that you've come across?
Well, that quarter that he found, that's called the seated quarter. I've got 3 of those. I've got 7 seated dimes. Basically what seated means is it's Lady Liberty sitting down. And they made those from 1838 to 1891. And so, long range. I found a 14 karat gold pocket watch. It was an American watch company, and they actually had the serial number on it. Carthage, Missouri. You know where that's at? Carthage, Missouri. Well, we're not too far from there, and there's a place there called Vintage Timekeepers. And I took it in there, and he opened it up for me, and we were able to get the serial number off of it and go to the database online. It was made between November of 1882 and April of 1883.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And Civil War, you find Civil War stuff all the time. If you know where to go, especially in Missouri, there's places a little further south from here that you can find Civil War battle sites and campgrounds from Civil War. Just lots of buttons. Sometimes, occasionally, the coins that they had. I have an 1859 Canadian large cent that was found in Baxter, Kansas, where, do you know where, have you ever heard of, what's the guy that ran the Raiders, the band of Raiders?
Oh, John Brown?
No, it was up through Kansas, and
Oh, Quantrill.
Quantrill, yeah, Quantrill. And outside of Baxter Springs, Kansas, Quantrill attacked some Union soldiers there, and there was a trek that they took through the town, and I found Civil War bullets along that, and I found that 1859 Canadian large cent with the silver bullets. I mean, not the silver bullets, the Civil War bullets, and so I'm guessing that probably a soldier dropped that, because that town really isn't that old. 1870s probably. And so to have an 1859 coin there, I'm thinking a soldier probably dropped it. But, so lots of stuff.
I was about to say, what's it like? You know, this doesn't sound like stuff you find to sell. This is stuff where you're almost creating your own kind of treasure trove. Kind of what's that like, building that collection, and kind of what do you kind of, when you see something that's old, do you kind of get a memory back on that? I mean, what's that like, kind of building that?
Well, I tell him all the time, you know, this guy, he's into buying coins.
It's a whole lot easier to buy them.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, man, I just can't bring myself to buy them because I find them in the ground. You know, I found just 2 weeks ago an 1892 Barber half dollar. It's a $250 coin straight out of the ground. And so why go buy coins whenever I can find them, you know? So it's a lot of fun putting the collection together. And this is my son over here, so you know, eventually it'll all go to him. So
Absolutely. Well, no, that's all I got. Is there anything you guys like to add?
This probably won't go to him.
but, no, that won't.
And you mentioned that you'd only found 3 of those in the 6 years that you've been. So something like that coming across, that's pretty rare. Am I right?
Yeah, it's rare. Anything seeded is rare. I mean, you have to just imagine, you know, 1875, a quarter was worth quite a bit of money. You know, that was probably, I'd say, a day or two of wages that he dropped on the ground whenever they dropped that quarter. So,
Goodness gracious.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate your guys' time. I don't mean to hold you up. Hey,
that's all
thank
right.
you
Yeah,
so
a lot of
much.
fun.
Thank you.